Welcome back everyone to the Minecraft Railroad Challenge, where today we are about to start at our central hub. Now from this hub, which is at 0, 0, we will go into each of the 4 cardinal directions and build a line out in that direction. This is the west hub. This is where we are going to build first. This is where we have the village out there at about 256 blocks, that new village that I built. And our contract with those villagers was that they will move if we built the railroad line out to their place first. So therefore I must go out there first, even though my original plan was not to do the desert initially until after I did the other directions. So we'll go out west first, then I can decide which of the other 3 ones we'll go. Down that direction we have things like swamp and hills and stuff like that to go through, which should make it really interesting to build all that section. The other 2, I know minimal information on this because I've not explored that yet, and I'm going to save that till after we've gone through the western build. Now, how we're going to build the terminal here is that we are going to have 15 blocks in each direction for our hub. So that means I'll have to build over this water here. And as you can see, 15 blocks is 5, 10, 15 out to there, which crosses the river. We will need to keep the river though, because blocking a river is never a good idea if you want a building to be permanent. So we'll just have to keep it under and make sure we have protection to make sure that the hub doesn't get washed away or anything like that, because it doesn't rain too often in deserts, but some deserts, when it rains, things can get really nasty and flooded because the area is not used to having rain. Now, how about the central platform, which is the next thing, because that's the entire hub building, but we are going to have to include, of course, the rail lines themselves and a central platform. The central platform will be 8. Yeah, I was thinking of going 8 away from each of the centers. Maybe 5. I'll have to start the initial plans to see which works best. I was thinking 8, which is about a little bit more than half the size of the hub in each direction, might be a good size. But let me initially experiment with 5, because I was thinking, oh, this is going to be dinky 5 by 5. No, it's not 5 by 5. It'll be 11 by 11. And I think that might be a decent size for a central hub, because this is where everything will meet. We will have the rails go here and here then, and then going out. The long-term plan is to build both outgoing and incoming rails, but 2 lines is going to be very expensive on rails, and I'll have to do quite a bit of mining to get that. So initially I'm just going to build the outgoing line, go through here, and they'll just have to single track it for a while. And then when I get a little bit more stable on my iron, then I can continue along the way and build the second side to it. But I might have all 4 directions done before I build the double lines. I'll just have to decide it. And as I build everything, if I build bridges and tunnels and stuff like that, I need to account for the likelihood that I will eventually have double tracking, or it's at least in the proposed plan. And of course, in many rail systems, things that are proposed can sometimes be proposed for a pretty long time, even well after the system itself opens up. Now, for the rest of the hub area, we are going to have various sections of what people are doing inside, because that's how you often have something like Union Station, where you have shops and restaurants and things like that, so that people have something to do while they are waiting. So I'll have a fishing area, for example, obviously one of the areas that are over the pond there, and we'll have a smelting area so I can make a good area to put all this stuff, because right now it's just sitting out in the middle of the desert. And I'll think of some other things for the other section. Probably a bulk storage area. And I'll have to decide what we'll have to do with the fourth, but I'm sure I'll come up with something on that. So that's what I am going to do, is going to create 4 sections on it. First thing, of course, decide what we're going to build this out of. Maybe the fourth place should be a greenhouse or something like that, because if you're going to have a food court, it'd be nice to have a source of food that's reliable. Perhaps it's more to keeping the humidity than the heat, though at nighttime it can get cold in deserts. But probably my main building material is going to be acacia. It's pretty much forced on me. You've got acacia already built here. We could have some highlights of spruce, because I do see spruces in the distance, and some oaks. So therefore that means wood is going to be a main one. A main supply there, mainly acacia, because one of the ideas there is to have as much local materials as possible. Of course, we will also have a glass and sandstone to work with. As for sandstone, after building that village out there, let us just say that I am not exactly overly excited to use that again right at the moment, because I have a few more things to build at the village, and yeah, sandstone, more sandstone, even more sandstone. I'm getting sick of sandstone, so probably I'm going to minimize that. We do have a mine over there, and from there I'm getting things like cobble and the like. And so we will have stone to work with, but that's probably going to be mainly used for flooring. And I think the sides of the building and the like will be made out of acacia. Well, I have to live with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop down some acacia, gather some more wood all over the place so that I could have plenty of materials. Then we could decide exactly what we want for this central platform. During that session, I managed to collect almost a stack and a half of acacia. I already have more than 2 stacks here, so that should give me plenty of wood, at least acacia wise. I also collected almost a stack of spruce, and I've got almost a stack and a half of spruce that could come in handy. Now I have 41 oak with me. I don't know how much of that I just collected, because I still had the oak from the previous session down there over at the desert. But it gives me plenty of wood in which to have as my basis for my build. But of course, flooring in a terminal like this, I think, should be of some sort of stone. And I certainly don't mean sandstone. I mean a good, hard, solid stone. And I'll probably have to mine for that. So what do I have stone-wise? Okay, other than sandstone, I've got cobble and gravel. Now gravel is going to be used for rail bedding. I actually, inside the station area, I'm going to use cobble as my bedding, but as soon as I get out into the open, I'll probably be switching over to gravel for that. I may consider using something else in the desert, but definitely out in the wetter areas I'll definitely be using gravel. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to be needing lots of stone. Now diorite is good for flooring, so diorite's one possibility. Diorite and granite, but not much else on there. Now I could take some cobble and of course convert that into stone, but I think I need to do a great deal of mining before I really get anywhere. After a bit of mining, I got myself 48 iron ore, so I am smelting that right now. And I've got pretty much the bulk of this. I got 12 gold. I'm combining that with 4 gold I had earlier, so I'll be smelting that in a little while. I also found some seeds that would be good for that garden area I was talking about earlier. I do have some wheat seeds that I've already had in here. And I also collected a couple of those just now from the grassland down at the savannah. So therefore, I've got plenty of crops I could plant, and that'll give me my nice little greenhouse there. Got some cobwebs because I have that abandoned shaft, so that's easy enough. Killed a spider there. Got a little bit of lapis, little bit of gold there. Diamonds, I finally have some diamonds. I have one diamond that I had before that I haven't used yet because I didn't feel like just making a diamond shovel, because I had that one for a while there, especially when I had all those enchanted shovels I could get over at the village. As for a couple of minecarts, plenty of rails, some diorite, which is one of the things I was looking for, a little bit of andesite, some gravel, which is always good to have because I'm going to be very short on that as the season progresses. So I think that's a pretty good haul there. I think that puts me in a good position to start actually doing what I need to do for the floor here, for the center platform. I'm going to try out a granite central pillar with polished diorite around that. But before I do that, I thought of, what do I do with 5 diamonds? 3 of the diamonds, of course, will go into a diamond pickaxe, which means I can get obsidian. And I have 2 more diamonds. I've had enough leather and, of course, plenty of sugarcane, so I made myself a book. It means I just need 4 obsidian, and I can get myself an enchanting table, which, of course, I could place in the library, since I made that library with the thought of having an enchanting station in there. So therefore, I'm going to go and mine some obsidian. Also, there's the matter of the nether. And I'm thinking that perhaps I could place a nether portal beneath the station. Because this is our central traveling hub, right? So if we were going to have a central traveling hub to north, south, east, and west, why not also to the nether? So it could be a little interesting little item in there. And that means that I can use nether stuff for this station. But most of the other ones, I'm not going to have nether hubs at the other location. This is just going to be the only access to the nether that we are going to have in this particular world. So therefore, anyone else might have 1 or 2 rare things that they use from the nether because of imports or things that are very important, like in that village or something like this I maybe could use. But overall, this is the only one that's going to take advantage of it as a significant part of the station build. Now, let's head down and get some obsidian. I had forgotten how rare lava was in this world. Eventually I went way down to the east near the end there. I probably saw that lava pool when I was giving the original trek to the eastward, and that's the only bit that I found. I took the lava pit, turned it into obsidian. So now we should be able to have our enchanting station. And I have plenty of obsidian for making a nether portal. When it's time to do so, I'll have to... Probably I'm going to be placing the nether portal beneath the 0 point. That way it could be right smack in the middle of the world. But right now I want to head over to the library and see what I can enchant. While I was looking for the lava, I did run into another village down probably in the same line distance away from the center as the lava. I can't remember the exact position on that matter. Let's see what we've got here. So I have that now also to work with, is another potential village in which to have stuff. And Fortune 2, Fortune 1 efficiency. Well, Fortune wouldn't hurt. Be nice if I... Fortune 2, efficiency 4, unbreaking 3. I think that'll... It'll do for now. I mean, it's not like it's not like it has all the best times in it, but actually I don't think it's too much better that you can get than that. And while I'm at it, I've got a few extra levels to play with. Why don't I try enchanting my boots and leggings also? Here, let's see. Leggings. What do we got there? Protection 4. Well, can't argue with protection 4, right? There you go. Unbreaking 3, protection 4. Okay, and then hey, maybe we could get some feather falling just in case something really goes wrong. No, unbreaking. Maybe get. If I'm about to go into the nether, unbreaking 3, fire protection 2. Okay. Decent, and that gives me a little bit extra, a few more levels to work with. Where can I put the crafting bench? Well, that shows you that now I've got my enchanting station all nice and working. So now I just head back home and let's see what else we can do while down there for the central area. This is the level where I plan to build this. Just like that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll go 4 in each direction, though I'm not going to do the side with the water yet. I first want to know exactly what I'm going to be doing before I go to the trouble of going out into the fourth side. But of course, it will be symmetrical when I had the final design done. So let's just fill this in and decide if I like it. I've already thought of another idea. Aha! How about if we try a checkerboard pattern for the central area? That means it will be only 9 by 9 instead of 11 by 11. But then that means the trains will be leaving off of the white ones, and then we have the red ones. Yeah, and of course, we will follow suit down on that end if that's what I like. I think I like that better. That takes care of the central area. This is where the passengers stand while waiting, but we will have, of course, the 4 outer sections, and for those there won't be any here because this is where the carts will be arriving and leaving. So therefore we'll have an outer section made from andesite. Now I'm just going to start this off as andesite, and then once I have that as a basic pattern in there, I will then add the remainder, which will be of different types. For example, over here we'll have andesite here, but there will be an opening or at least a way in order to get to the water, since that's going to be the fishing area. So what we want to do here then is have andesite. Let's see, this give us here another 3 here. Now the original plan was to go out this far. Yeah, because we will want more area for what we want to do there. And I just have to decide which each areas are. Now I'm not going to have enough andesite to fill in all the areas, but I can probably fill in one of them and give me an idea of what's going to happen. And this is how the sector looks. And as I was doing this, I came to the conclusion that my original plan of going out to 15 was just too large. It just made the central area look silly in proportion to this, but I think it's about the right size now, especially once I get that built out there. And I'm going to make this the office area. So this is where the employees and the staff are. So this is where I'll have storage, my bed, and all that sort of stuff. So I could take all that stuff and move it into here. This is going to be public area, waiting areas, ticket booths, and all that sort of stuff will be down in this area. This is also where we'll have our main entrance to the hub, and this is chosen as the main entrance because we've got the mines over there. Then over here I'll make the fishing area, and over here then we'll have the farms. So the farms at least have dirt in place of most of the andesite. And here I'll probably have a glazed terracotta in several of the locations because I do have some clay here. And I do have some, yeah, I have some clay here, so I could create some glazed terracotta. So terracotta turn into glazed terracotta and give it a nice color there. So that's what I'm thinking for there. But seeing how this is the most utilitarian of the sections, I'm going to start out with this, bring my stuff here. And between episodes, I'm going to mine out a good amount of andesite, so I have what I need there. So I at least have that. I'll have another section there. And maybe even start a preliminary floor to that area. Though, of course, there will be a bit more to do after the preliminary. But we'll have a look at that when we return for the next episode of the Minecraft Railroad Challenge.